Aham sarvasya prabhavah mattah sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaah. I am the source of all. From me everything evolves. Understanding thus, the wise, endowed with loving consciousness, worship me. Now, whether you call it as loving consciousness or single-pointed devotion, bhava samanvitaha, bhava. Now, bhava, for a devotee of God, the bhava will be unswerving, single-pointed faith towards his beloved God. Dvaitavada. Then it can be unfailingly practicing to elevate oneself to the qualities of his beloved. So that is coming closer to the divine. In Vishishta Advaita, that's how one identifies more with the Supreme Divinity and tries to withdraw the identification with the undivine. Like the ray of the sun and the sun are not too different, but of course, the sun is the sun and the ray is having the limitations. And in Advaitavad, there is complete merger. There is no question of duality. So, in whatever way, on whatever path one may take, one must come to this bhava samanvitaha. So, one gets completely dedicated, single-pointedly, lovingly, respectfully, devotionally attached or associated with the Supreme Divinity. It depends upon an individual's mindset as to how would you like to associate yourself with the divine. I am the source of all. If one has that kind of loving consciousness, and if one is able to worship in that way, then this will happen, that he will come to know that the Supreme is the source of all, and from the Supreme everything evolves. These two are to be known to that individual seeker who is so single-pointedly dedicated to the divine. Aham sarvasya prabhavah. So there can be no partiality in the thought process of that individual seeker from the standpoint of the Supreme. Suppose you have a plate full of rice and you are about to eat it, and you see some black spots. So you start picking up those black things from their rice, and you see, oh, these are not rice, these are some other particles. So you'll keep it aside. Or will you eat it? You won't eat it. When you've seen the other particles in the rice, you will keep it aside. So will you hate it? There's no question, what is there to hate? Okay? By mistake, some other particles have come. Keep it aside and eat it. That is equanimity of mind. Now that is not equanimity of mind that you eat it up. You are supposed to eat the rice, okay? Not the other particles that you see in the rice. But yes, it could be that you don't hate those particles. Keep them aside. Can that be possible? Yes, that can be possible if it is the question of rice. But now you replace the rice with human beings. It will become very tough. Now you become very judgmental, you become critical, you become partial. What is all that? Bhagavan says the whole of microcosm and macrocosm is my glory. Now the devotee has no way to see other than God's glory in the creation. That's what Bhagavan says over here. The one who sees that I am the source of all, and from me everything evolves, understanding thus, the wise endowed with loving consciousness worships me. So while being in worship of the Supreme, eliminate all these thoughts of plurality. That's the best way of being single-pointedly devoted to the Supreme Divinity. One can practice. And you, when you excel in this practice, you become a wise man. That is what is wisdom. But there can be some other kind of seekers also, who just don't want to dissolve themselves in the milk. Some sugar particles are such, no matter how much you try to dissolve, they'll still remain. And when you finish the cup of your milk or tea, then at last you'll see those particles over there, not soluble. So we practice meditation, we read the scriptures, we do lots of worship of different kinds, we go to temples, we go to wherever, pilgrimages and all. We come back the same, again differences, partiality, selfishness, desires, this, that. Am I able to have a little different vision towards the creation? There is a divine glory all around. No, but you see, when we are in good places, we yet try to experience some divine creatures around, but not everywhere. That's what. Again, we are partial, no? Our thought process is very conditioned. So in certain places, it's very peaceful, it is very nice, people are so nice. Where is the ability to accept and experience the divine everywhere? This is the practice Bhagavan says over here. Buddha bhava samanvitaha. These are wise men who are well established in loving consciousness through their devotion of different kinds. It can be different kind of association with the divine. What will be the kind of existence of that divine wise man who is able to experience the vibhuti because of unflinching faith in the presence of divine everywhere? Will come in the coming shloka.